What is going on, everybody? This is Mike from the Last Corvette. Today is Wednesday, October 18th, and it's getting dark. It's a typical fall day here in Metro Detroit, and with fall, unfortunately, comes the off season for everybody in Michigan and really in all northern states when it comes to their summer toys. But, you know, this weekend looks mighty nice, so I'll be driving the C6. And I really plan on driving this vehicle until either A, it snows, or they put down salt on the roads, either a snowstorm or ice storm, and then I'm going to park it. But before I park it, let's kind of get into the current situation. So the last couple of days I posted two videos. One was about a video that I did last year, and I think it's a really good video that shows the fuel tank out of the vehicle, the crossover pipe, and how everything locks together and pretty much goes together. Now, some individual on YouTube obviously watched the video, reached out to me looking for the sleeve slash locking tab that broke on my C6, and I guess same thing happened to this individual as well. So it serves two purposes, like I said in the video. It helps guide the crossover pipe into the fuel tank cavity, but it also retains the return lines inside the crossover pipe itself. That way you get a nice seal. But anyway, if you're watching this video, just like in the comments, I do have one spare sleeve to sell for cheap. Just pay for shipping and it's yours. If not, this Friday, so in 2 days, it's going to go in the garbage because I'm trying to clean up my garage. Now, the second video that I made was a headliner that we got through GMOutletparts.com. I always talk about GM Outlet Parts just because it's the cheapest OEM GM parts store you can find. It's a dealership that runs it. Now, lucky for me, this dealership is about, I don't know, 9 miles, 10 miles from my house. So I don't pay shipping, I just pay tax. But let me just give you a kind of apples to apples type comparison. The same headliner, the cheapest headliner that I could find was $162. That's no tax included, or part of the price, or shipping. So you're probably going to pay around close to $300 with shipping. Now, of course, shipping is let's say $50 to $60 to ship something like that. But still, you're saving money, and on average, you save anywhere from $50 to $100, especially on the more expensive parts. But the headliner is going on my buddy's C6 Corvette. Instead of having little air pockets in the headliner, he actually has a scuff or a tear, and you can't glue that, like I said in the video. So that, I don't know if I'm going to do a video on that, just because it's the same thing that I showed you guys, except we're going to be reapplying a brand new fresh headliner that already has the backing and basically the adhesive on it. It's pretty awesome. I think we paid $150 and some change with tax and all that. Anyway, now let's get into the C6 itself. So as it currently sits, it has stock ported heads. It has a baby 116 LSA cam, and the reason I know all this stuff, and we'll know for sure when I pull the cam out, but I have a build sheet. Fast 102 unported, which I don't plan to port the Fast 102. Ported throttle body, that's stock. Flex fuel, upgraded Z06 fuel pump, pretty stout, especially on flex fuel, but I want to really get in and finish this NA build my way before I even think about going boost. So my original plan was to buy Trick Flow heads and cam, which I did. I bought it on a local marketplace here from an individual that ended up buying this kit for his C6 Corvette, actually, and ended up selling the vehicle. Obviously never used, never installed. Ended up getting a C7 Z06. I bought it for about $200 to $300 under the market value, and I ended up selling it over the summer to another guy that I met at a car show that has a C6, and we just got to kind of going back and forth on my plan, what he plans to do with his, and anyway, we made a deal. I made a couple $100 on it, but then it put me back to my original plan, which is to go with a Texas Speed build, meaning PRC heads, and the cam that I'm getting is a 224R 114 LSA. I'm going with the 114 LSA because it's a mild cam. It's going to give me a little bit more chop, but most importantly, it's going to give me pretty good gains across the entire power band. Now, LS motors, mild builds, that is, in general, respond really well to mild cams. The more aggressive the cam is, it's like looking at a turbo spooling up or a supercharger. You need to be at the higher range of your power band or at the higher RPM to actually see the gains. With a mild cam, you're going to see those gains pretty much throughout the entire range. So, and on top of it, I want the drivability. So with a 114 LSA, even if I went with a 112, but I already have everything on order, so 114 is what I'm putting in, won't require a change to my stock torque converter. So the torque converter is going to stay. Now, all gaskets, all seals are being replaced. Headers are also being replaced over the winter. And I'm doing an oil pump, which is going to be a GM performance oil pump. I'm not going with aftermarket high flow. There's no need for that. Water pump, thermostat, stock thermostat, timing chain, obviously sprocket timing guides, harmonic balancer. I'm going stock, but I'm also going to pin it, and the reason I'm going to pin it is because if I ever do decide to go with a boost setup, which will be obviously East Coast supercharger, I'm in love with those superchargers, of how expandable they are. Everything is already going to be ready to go, and I don't have to pull the steering rack out. And remember, when you do work on suspension or like pulling the steering rack out, do yourself a favor. For me, like next spring, go get the vehicle aligned. You just need to do that. So that's really it when it comes to like the small items. Now, of course, when I do my heads, I'm going to replace the lifters and the lifter trays. That's something that LS engines are kind of known for. Not so much the LS3, like even LS2s, LS3s, the LS7s, and even the newer stuff is the LTs. I don't know, there's a lot of, especially truck motors, that have major problems with lifters again. So, but I'll be replacing all that stuff. Obviously, push rods and the valve train already comes as part of the kit, and it's going to be pretty stout. Now, what do I expect to get out of it on ethanol? Probably close to 70 horsepower or so to the tire. That's with heads and cam, and that will put me well into 500 horsepower. And that's the reason I say I'm not really sure if I'm going to go with boosts. 500 horses to the tire is a lot of horsepower for a vehicle that weighs just over 3,000 pounds. So it's going to scoot, it's going to move. I don't race the vehicle. I go to the track here and there. You know, I have fun with the vehicle, but it's not a race vehicle. And one thing, once you start pushing into the 700s, even close to 800s, remember the bottom rotary is on most LSs is good for about 800, 900. So once you start pushing that kind of horsepower, you start kind of testing the outer limits, not only of your engine, but also transmission, the diff, the axle, stuff like that. And for sure you'll need drag packs or something equivalent to that. But anyway, it's going to be a fun build, guys. I can't wait to get started. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to post them on YouTube. I know it's been done a million times before, but I always find a different angle or something that I learn along the way that I can share with everybody for the next guy or gal. But in the meantime, this upcoming Saturday, like I said, it's going to be beautiful. As of today, I need to finish up something that I started when I put everything back together. My driver's side axle back exhaust, so the exhaust pipe that goes over the axle is actually not fully seated into my X pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up the same way when I replace my e-brake cable. I actually use my car ramps and I back the vehicle up on the, or I should say back the vehicle on top of the car ramps, and it gives you enough leverage, it gives you enough room, and it will for sure give me enough room to undo the clamp, slide the pipe all the way in, get it aligned, torque it, and it'll be just fine. Now, Once the vehicle is parked, I will be removing the side mirrors as well. That's another project that I wanted to get done this year, but I just got busy. And the side mirrors are going to come off. I'll take them to the body shop, and they'll get repainted. And that's going to be another touch. The vehicle looks pretty good, so but the side mirrors kind of throw me off, even though most people don't even notice, but I do. But anyway, have yourself a great Wednesday. More videos to come. Like I said, this Saturday I'll make a video about this exhaust situation. We'll check under the tank as well and see how that whole cavity looks. Talk to you guys later.